Okay, I thought I would share with you an original effect and a system that I put together to pull off this effect. And so by the end of the video, you should be able to do what I'm going to show you right now as a demonstration. Okay, so I have a deck of cards here, and so you can begin with a shuffled deck of cards. You truly can. Now this particular trick, unlike all of my other tricks, this one requires an assistant, which is not uncommon, to have kind of a special card effect in which an assistant is helping. Okay, so right now the assistant is out of the room for, the next minute is all, while the spectator freely chooses any 5 cards from the deck, any 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now they're free to choose any one of the 5 cards here as their special cards. So maybe we'll just choose that one right there. Oh, can you see it? Looks like you can. 7 of spades. Okay. I put it off to the side because we'll need the entire pad here. Okay, and then what you have to do as the performer, you are given these cards to work with, which were randomly chosen by the spectator. And your job is to arrange these cards so that when your assistant comes in the room, they can immediately identify the identity of the 7 of spades. Okay, so normally what would happen is I would be working with these, and then this card would now be face down when the assistant comes in, right? And then they would have to try to figure out what is the value and suit of that card. Okay, now for us here, I think I'll just leave it face up so you can be reminded. It's the 7 of spades, okay? So I would pick up these cards, and what I would do is I would just simply, I'd put a card here, I'd put one here, I would put one here, and then I would put one down here, and then I'd have my assistant come in. Come on into the room. They would look at the cards and say, well, of course, the down-facing card over here is the 7 of spades. It's obvious, isn't it, to everyone? Okay. So that's a joke, right? So this is the kind of thing that you'll be able to do along with a trained assistant, which will not be a tall order for them either to learn how to do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do some training here. Now, because of the size of the area that I'm showing, I've had to resort to kind of miniature cards, which is fine, like these, to illustrate this. Now, as you saw in the performance, you would normally do this with the cards face up. You'd lay out the cards face up just as I did to encode the information for the 7 of spades. But I think for our training, at least at first, we'll have them face down so that you're not getting overwhelmed with, seeing values and suits and different colors and so forth. Okay? And so what I'm going to do here, so I'll just put those off to the side, is I have a deck here, and so we'll do some training together here. Okay, so if the card selected that you're trying to encode so that your assistant, when they come in, can immediately know that this is the 7 of spades, when it's face down, of course. So what you need to do is just realize what I've done here is we're looking at the base 2 representation for any number between 1 and 16. Now card values go from 1 to 13. Okay, so this will be more than enough configurations for us to represent the card value. Okay, so what I'm doing here is if there's a card face up right here, we're assigning a value of 1. So like if it's an ace, let's say it's an ace over here. We have an ace. You would just put 1 card here. In fact, let's say it's the ace of clubs. So you'd put 1 card here, and then of the 4 cards that you were given, you would just need 1 more, and you'd put it sideways. So that would represent the ace of clubs. Okay, well, anyway, let's practice with this. So how would we represent 7? Well, what you do is you take the highest power of 2 that gives you a value less than the given card value. So here it'd be 4. So we know we'll need a 4. That leaves us with 3. Well, there's still a 2 hiding in that 3. And then to get the 3, we'll need a 1. So 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7. Okay, and that was the configuration I had. And now for the suit, what I've done is and you can do this differently, I've put them in chased order. Okay, if you've heard of that before. Clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Okay, now if you want to put them in alphabetical order instead, that would be fine. And so to finish this, I would just set the fourth card. Remember, we're randomly given 4 cards with which to represent the remaining 5th card. Okay, and so right off, this represents the 7 of clubs. Okay, let's do another one. Oh, 7 of hearts. Well, what would change? The value is still 7, so this little guy would move right there. so that is the 7 of hearts configuration. Okay, 7 of spades. Keep bumping these. Sorry, would come down here like that. That's the 7 of spades now. Now it might get a little bit trickier here, but not too bad. 7 of diamonds. How do we do that? Well, what you do is you just leave a blank, roughly the length of the card, like right here, and so that's going to tell the spectator, okay, this is club, heart, spade, diamond. So it's 7 of diamonds. Okay. What about king of spades? What would that look like? Well, 13. The largest power of 2 that's less than that gives you a value of 8. 5 remains. We'll need at least 4 more. And then 1 remains, right? Because 8 plus 4 plus 1 is 13. And since it's spade, I would put the remaining 4th card right here. And so that would immediately communicate to your assistant, oh, okay, that has value 13, because it's 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 8 is 13. And then having this card down here tells us that it's club, heart, spades, so king of spades. Okay. King of diamonds, very similar. You just move this card is all. King of clubs, of course, it would just go up here. And as you might have guessed, king of hearts would look like this right here. Okay. So why don't we do the jack quickly, and then we'll go to some harder ones. Okay, so how do you write the jack in terms of the sum of 1, 2, 4, or 8? So how would we do that? Well, the largest power of 2 that's less than 11 would involve the number 8 with a remainder of 3. Well, 3 is made up of 2 plus a 1, okay? So that's what a jack would look like. It's a diamond. So our 4th card that was like randomly handed to us would go right here. And once again, I want to emphasize that when you go to do this, these really should be face up, because that's part of the deception of the whole thing. If you do it face down, they'll realize, oh, it's the configuration of the cards that is communicating things. But if you have it face up, that really muddies the water, and they're thinking, wow, he has 4 random cards here, and how is he going to arrange those different card values and suits and colors in such a way that he's going to communicate to his assistant that it's the jack of diamonds. So having these face up will really be important when you go to perform this, okay? But once again, we're just kind of at the training stage. This would be the jack of clubs, of course, jack of hearts, jack of spades. Okay, so once again, just leave a bit of a break here, and the assistant will know that the value is 1 plus 2 plus 8, 11, so jack, and then because of where this is placed, it would have to be a spade, so it's a jack of spades. Okay, now these get a little bit harder. Now what about 9? How would we represent 9? Well, 9 is 8 plus 1, of course. And then the club, so notice that we don't need all of the cards this time. We just need 3 of them, which is fine. The rule is you have to use no more than the 4 random cards they gave you. So you can choose among those. Okay, so this would represent 1 plus 8 is 9. And of course, having this card up here, 9 of clubs. 9 of diamonds, this would just move down here. 9 of spades, this little guy would move right there. 9 of hearts, it would move over here with a bit of a space. That's 9 of hearts. 3 of hearts, well, it's just 1 plus 2, right? Okay, so there's 3 and then a heart. So just right there. Club, whoops, sorry about that. It would move up here. Spade, it would move down here. Okay, this is getting a little trickier, right? But you still have a space here. Center this with that one. So that's would communicate a 3 of spades, a 3 of diamonds, kind of a similar thing. It would go over here like that. Okay, now what about a 6? A 4 plus a 2, right? So you would just have 2 cards here. It's a spade, so you'd put one right here. If it's anything different than that as far as the suit, that little card would just move around to represent the suit for the new card, right? And that's a club, okay? What about a 10? 8 plus a 2 is 10. We want a diamonds, right? So we'd go right there. 10 of hearts, equally simple. 10 of clubs. Okay, so you just have it up here sideways, right? Kind of perpendicular to the vertical ones. And then spade down here. Okay, very good. Okay, and then a queen. How would we represent a queen? Well, a queen is 12, and so 8 is needed to build a queen, and then just 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. It's a spade, so there you go. So your assistant comes in, looks at that, and goes, that's the queen. You know, once again, this would be face down, and they would look at that and say, that's the queen of spades, right? Okay. Okay, queen of diamonds. This one would just move. Queen of clubs, it would be up here. And queen of hearts. Okay, like that. 5. So 5 is going to be 4, of course, plus 1. And then a spade would be down here. A club, of course, would be right there. A little bit. And then a heart would be over here. Kind of an interesting configuration here, right? And, you know, like, once again, leave some space there just to kind of help your assistant out, actually. And then this is a diamond, 5 of diamonds, of course. And what about an ace? Okay, now we're getting down to just 2 cards are needed. So here's an ace. It's one of the examples I gave. So if your assistant comes in and sees that, they're going to go, oh, it's the ace of clubs. Done. This would be the ace of hearts, like that. Okay, ace of spades. Kind of a fun one there. So there's going to be quite a distance there. And then ace of diamonds would look like that. Okay, and then the 8, well, the 8's right there, so we got the card value. And then you would have a club up there, a heart here, a spade here, and of course the diamond would go right next to it. Okay, and then 2, similar thing there, a spade, a diamond, 2 of diamonds, that is, 2 of clubs, 2 of hearts, all right? And then 4, we have 4 of hearts, there you go, 4 of spades, 4 of diamonds, and then 4 of clubs. Go up here. Okay, so we've actually done the entire deck. We've gone through every single configuration that's needed to represent each and every one of the 52 cards. Okay, so I'm going to attach the PDF to this document right here, or what you see on the left. I'm going to have a link to it in the description, so you'll be able to download that and use that if you would like. It's actually not too hard to recreate. It's just powers of 2, 2 to the 0, 2 to the first, 2 squared, 2 to the third, and every number between 1 and 15 can be written as a sum of these values. So I hope you enjoy that, and I don't think it'll be too hard to train an assistant to do this. I mean, they may have to be a little bit mathematically minded, but since we haven't done any card effects where an assistant's involved, I thought I would create one. So this is the one I came up with, and once you see something like this, I'm sure you can come up with your own system, and very possibly a system that just works better or makes more sense to you even. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.